You know the saying, a small spark can turn into a wildfire. Well, right now that spark may be burning in European politics. Tensions have suddenly flared between French President Emmanuel Macron and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. And the timing is raising eyebrows. The clash erupted just as Macron was returning from a high-profile visit to India. So what happened? And could this turn into a serious rift between two of Europe's biggest powers? Let's break it down. From the 17th to the 19th, Macron was in India for major diplomatic talks. France and India discussed defense technology, strategic cooperation, trade, and Indo-Pacific security. For Europe, India is an increasingly critical partner, economically, militarily, and geopolitically. Everything seems smooth. But on the flight back to France, journalists asked Macron about comments made by Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni regarding a controversial death in France, and that's when things got heated. Macron fired back sharply, saying leaders should stay within limits and avoid commenting without full information. He made it clear that France does not appreciate outside voices weighing in on its domestic issues. The incident in question involves the death of a 23-year-old right-wing activist during clashes outside a university in Lyon. The event sparked nationwide protests and intensified political tensions inside France. The tragedy quickly became a flashpoint in France's already polarized political climate. Meloni had condemned the violence and expressed concern about rising ideological hatred across Europe. But Macron reportedly saw her comments as indirect criticism of France's internal situation, possibly even of his government. In response, Italy's foreign ministry pushed back, saying Meloni's remarks were simply an expression of sympathy and not interference. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't the first time Macron and Meloni have clashed. They've disagreed before on migration policy, during the 2022 G7 summit, and on strategy surrounding the Russia-Ukraine war. Their political ideologies also differ sharply. Macron positions himself as a centrist, pro-European integration leader. Meloni represents a nationalist, right-leaning government in Italy. So this latest dispute may be less about one comment and more about deeper ideological friction inside Europe. Now here's why the timing matters. Macron had just wrapped up a strategic visit to India, a country that both France and Italy are eager to partner with in defense, trade, and Indo-Pacific strategy. India is becoming a key global power, and European nations are competing to strengthen ties there. For tensions to surface immediately after such a major diplomatic trip only amplified the headlines. So the real question is this just political rhetoric, or the beginning of deeper strain between France and Italy? At a time when Europe faces challenges from Russia, economic uncertainty, migration pressures, and shifting global alliances, unity matters more than ever. If this spark grows, it could complicate cooperation inside the European Union. For now, it's a war of words, but in politics, words often signal something bigger. What do you think? Is this just a diplomatic spat, or could it escalate into real tension between France and Italy? Let me know your take.